If you're over 60 and still trying to eat healthy, I want to commend you. You're doing what most people don't. You're paying attention. You're making better choices. You're staying in the fight for your energy, your digestion, your strength, and yes, even your bedroom life. But here's the part most seniors don't realize. Some of the fruits you've been told are healthy may actually be draining your energy, irritating your gut, or quietly working against your metabolism. I'm Dr. Richard Gavin, a urologist and metabolic health specialist. For over 20 years, I've helped thousands of men and women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond rebalance their hormones, reduce inflammation, and reclaim energy they thought was gone for good. And I can't tell you how often I've seen this same pattern. Seniors doing everything right, but still struggling with sluggish energy, brain fog and belly fat, frequent urination or weak bladder control, erectile issues or low libido, gas, bloating, and unpredictable digestion, all while snacking on harmless fruits, thinking they're doing their bodies a favor. The truth? It's not just what you eat. It's when, how, and what type, especially when it comes to fruit. So today I want to walk you through 7 fruits you should avoid or limit drastically after 60. Because fruit can be medicine, but the wrong kind, at the wrong time, is more like sugar-coated sabotage. Let's start with one of the biggest offenders hiding in plain sight. 1. Grapes. Too much sugar, too little fiber. Let's be honest, grapes are delicious. They're sweet, easy to snack on, and they've long been labeled a healthy choice. But if you're over 60 and you're popping grapes into your mouth like nature's candy, it's time to take a closer look. Because while they may seem harmless, grapes pack a surprising sugar punch with very little fiber to slow it down. Just one handful of grapes can contain 15 to 20 grams of natural sugar, and in a younger, more metabolically flexible body, that might not be a big deal. But after 60, when insulin sensitivity starts to decline and hormone balance becomes more fragile, that sugar surge can do more damage than you think. In men, this quick spike can suppress testosterone levels, increase estrogen production, encourage the storage of visceral belly fat, the most dangerous kind. In women, it can trigger blood sugar crashes that lead to fatigue or irritability, more stubborn weight gain around the midsection, nighttime hot flashes, and hormone fluctuations. And because grapes are so low in fiber, that sugar hits fast. There's no buffer, no brake pedal. It's like flooring the gas on your blood sugar with nothing to slow it down. Now, do you need to eliminate grapes completely? Not necessarily. But you do need to be smarter about how and when you eat them. Don't eat grapes alone. Pair them with a handful of nuts, some plain Greek yogurt, or a bit of protein to help blunt the sugar spike. Limit portion size. A small handful once in a while is fine, but don't treat them like free snacks. Avoid them at night. That sugar surge before bed can interfere with hormone production and sleep cycles. It's not about fear. It's about awareness. And grapes are just the beginning. Because the next fruit on the list is even trickier, especially when it comes to your liver health and metabolic resilience. After 60, 2. Bananas, too much for the liver. After 60, bananas are often the go-to fruit for seniors. They're soft, easy to chew, easy to digest, and widely considered safe. You'll find them in fruit bowls, breakfast smoothies, and even next to the bed as a quick nighttime snack. But as comforting as bananas may seem, they may not be as harmless as you've been led to believe, especially after 60. Here's why. After age 60, your liver and pancreas begin to process sugar and starch less efficiently. The enzymes that once broke things down with ease now operate more slowly, and insulin sensitivity, the body's ability to shuttle sugar into your cells, begins to decline. Bananas are naturally rich in sugar, over 14 grams per medium banana, and also high in fast-converting starch, which your body quickly transforms into glucose. That combination, high sugar plus high starch, creates a kind of double hit for your aging liver. Instead of being used smoothly for energy, that sugar floods the system, often faster than your body can handle, and over time, that excess sugar gets stored as fat, especially around the belly and liver. Here are some symptoms I've seen in older patients who eat bananas too often. Afternoon energy crashes, after the morning banana boost wears off, constipation and bloating, especially when bananas are slightly underripe or overripe, a rise in uric acid, leading to joint stiffness, toe pain, or even early signs of gout, worsening fatty liver markers in blood work, especially when paired with other high-carb habits. Do you need to give up bananas forever? Number. But they should not be a daily staple. What I recommend instead, have half a banana, not the whole thing, and always pair it with protein like nut butter, plain yogurt, or a boiled egg. Avoid bananas first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Stick to slightly green, low glycemic bananas when possible, and avoid very ripe ones. Bananas aren't evil, but they're too much of a good thing if you're over 60 and trying to stabilize your hormones, energy, or weight. And speaking of sugar overload, the next fruit may seem refreshing, but it's one of the highest glycemic fruits on the list, and it does almost nothing to keep you full. 3. Watermelon, high glycemic, zero satiety. Few fruits feel more refreshing than watermelon on a hot day. It's cool, juicy, and gives you the sense that you're eating something light and hydrating. And in one sense, watermelon is over 90% water. But that's exactly where the problem lies. Because behind that hydration is a very high glycemic load, meaning watermelon floods your bloodstream with sugar almost instantly, especially if you eat it alone, without any protein or fat to slow down absorption. And when you're over 60, your body simply can't handle sugar surges the way it used to. That quick sugar spike can lead to crashes in insulin levels later in the day, sudden dips in energy, hormonal disruption, especially testosterone and insulin-like growth factor, increased belly fat storage due to excess glucose, poor blood flow. Yes, even to intimate areas. In fact, I've worked with many older men struggling with erectile dysfunction who didn't realize that their healthy fruit choices, like eating a giant bowl of watermelon, were wreaking havoc on their blood sugar and circulation. Watermelon also does nothing to keep you full. It's incredibly low in fiber, and because it's mostly water and sugar, it moves through the stomach quickly, leaving you hungrier a short time later. That often leads to overeating or craving more carbs shortly after. And if you're already waking up several times a night to urinate, watermelon only makes it worse. Its high water content, paired with sugar, puts more stress on your kidneys and bladder, especially if eaten in the evening. Does this mean you have to skip watermelon forever? Number. But here's how to be smarter about it. Keep portions small, 1 or 2 thin slices at most. Eat it with a meal, not alone. Avoid after 6 p.m., especially if you struggle with nighttime urination or restless sleep. Watermelon may be refreshing, but it's not as innocent as it looks. And if you think that's a sugar bomb, wait until you see what happens when fruit gets dried. 4. Dried fruits, dates, raisins, apricots, figs. I understand the nostalgia. There's something comforting about a handful of raisins, a sweet date after dinner, or a few dried apricots with tea. They seem wholesome, like nature's candy, but still healthy. But here's the problem. Dried fruits are some of the most concentrated sources of sugar on the planet. The drying process removes all the water, shrinks the fruit, and leaves behind a dense, sticky package of sugar, often without the fiber and water that would normally help slow down your body's absorption of it. Just one small box of raisins contains over 25 grams of sugar. That's nearly 6 teaspoons, without the fiber buffer or volume of a whole grape. And that sugar hits fast and hits hard, especially in seniors whose insulin sensitivity is already declining and whose organs, like the liver and pancreas, may not function as efficiently as they once did. Over time, this can lead to brain fog and mood dips due to sugar spikes and crashes, joint inflammation, especially in the knees, fingers, and lower back, belly bloat from both the sugar and fermentable compounds, worsening prostate symptoms in men, including more nighttime trips to the bathroom, and for both men and women, a silent increase in visceral fat, the kind that wraps around your organs. Yes, Dried fruit contains vitamins and minerals. But the sugar to fiber ratio is completely out of balance for someone over 60 who is trying to maintain energy, control inflammation, and stabilize hormones. So, what's the better approach? If you really enjoy dried fruit, treat it like dessert, not a snack. Only eat a very small amount, 1, 2 pieces, and always after a full meal. Avoid trail mixes with dried fruit and added sugar. They're often worse than candy bars. Dried fruits are stealthy, they feel innocent, but act like sugar grenades in the aging body. But even these don't compare to the next danger, because when fruit is liquefied and stripped of its fiber entirely, the impact on your blood sugar and brain is even worse. 5. Fruit juices, even 100% natural. This one surprises a lot of people, especially those who believe starting the day with a glass of orange juice is a healthy habit. But even fresh squeezed juice, labeled 100% natural or organic, can deliver a metabolic shock to the body, particularly after age 60. Why? Because juicing strips away fiber, the natural guardrail that slows the absorption of fruit sugars. When you eat an orange, it takes time to chew, digest, and absorb. The fiber helps your blood sugar rise gently. But when you drink juice, it goes straight into your bloodstream, no friction, no breaks. Just one 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains over 20 grams of sugar, more than a glazed donut. And because it's liquid, the body drinks it like water, often consuming it far faster than it would a whole piece of fruit. For older adults, this has several consequences. In men, regular fruit juice intake can spike insulin levels, followed by a crash in energy, increase visceral belly fat, the fat that wraps around organs, suppress nighttime testosterone production, especially if consumed in the evening. In women, it can lead to disruption in thyroid hormone balance, affecting metabolism, greater difficulty with energy regulation and mood, poor sleep quality, especially if consumed within 3 hours of bedtime. Even juices labeled cold pressed, no sugar added, or from concentrate don't solve the problem. They're still stripped of fiber and condensed into a high sugar beverage that the aging body often cannot process efficiently. So here's the golden rule: don't drink your fruit, eat it, chew it, let your body work for it. You'll absorb nutrients more slowly, regulate your blood sugar more effectively, and give your digestive system the stimulation it needs to stay healthy. Juice feels like a shortcut, but it's a shortcut to fatigue, hormonal disruption, and weight gain. And while juice is problematic because of its speed and sugar load, the next fruit brings a very different challenge, one that can inflame your gut, irritate your bladder, and trigger symptoms that most seniors never link back to food. 6. Pineapple, the hidden acidic trigger. Yes, it's tropical. Yes, it's delicious. And yes, it's packed with vitamin C and bromelain, which can offer some digestive and anti-inflammatory benefits. But for many seniors, pineapple comes with a downside that's often ignored. It's a high-acid fruit, and as the digestive system slows with age, that natural acidity can become more irritating than helpful. In my experience with patients over 60, pineapple is a common but overlooked trigger for symptoms like acid reflux or heartburn, especially if eaten alone or late in the day, stomach bloating due to fermentation in the gut, gas, or cramping from increased acid irritating the small intestine, urinary discomfort, especially in men with sensitive prostates or women with mild bladder irritation. And that's not all. Pineapple also contains over 16 grams of sugar per cup, which, in an aging body with less insulin sensitivity, can contribute to blood sugar spikes, energy crashes, increased fat storage, low-grade inflammation. It's not that pineapple is bad. In moderation and with the right pairing, it can be refreshing and even beneficial. But it should not be a daily fruit, eaten on an empty stomach, consumed before bed, when digestion slows even more, paired with other acidic or sugary foods, which can amplify reflux symptoms. Instead, if you want to enjoy pineapple, eat a small portion, 1/2 cup or less, with a protein-rich meal, Avoid it if you're currently dealing with GERD, IBS, or bladder sensitivity. Opt for fresh over canned. Since canned varieties often come with added sugar and preservatives, pineapple can be part of a healthy diet, but only if your body tolerates it and you consume it wisely. And speaking of canned fruit, the next group may seem convenient, but they come with a cocktail of hidden sugars and chemical preservatives that are especially hard on aging organs. 7. Canned or syrup-packed fruits, the most deceptive of all. This one's straightforward and serious. Avoid canned or syrup-packed fruits altogether. That includes canned peaches, fruit cocktail mixes, syrupy pears or cherries, store-bought pie fillings labeled as real fruit. Even if the label says packed in its own juice, that phrase is often misleading. Most of these products still contain added sugars, synthetic preservatives, and hormone-disrupting chemicals hidden behind vague ingredient names. Let's break down what really happens when you eat these. 1. Added sugars. Canned fruits often contain more added sugar than soda, yet are marketed as natural. Just 1/2 cup of canned peaches in syrup can pack 20 plus grams of sugar, spiking blood glucose and contributing to insulin resistance. 2. Chemical preservatives. Substances like sulfites and sorbates are added to extend shelf life, but they can trigger gut irritation, allergic reactions, and interfere with natural hormone function, especially thyroid and estrogen testosterone balance. 3. BPA from can linings. BPA bisphenol A is a chemical used in the lining of most canned goods, and research shows it can act like a synthetic estrogen, throwing off your body's hormone balance, increasing belly fat, and impairing sexual health in both men and women. Many older adults turn to canned fruit for convenience. It's easy to chew, it's shelf-stable, and it seems like a gentle choice for digestion. But over time, it quietly contributes to gut dysbiosis, bad bacteria overtaking good bacteria, weaker blood flow, particularly to the brain and sexual organs, more midsection weight gain, especially visceral fat, sluggish metabolism, and lower energy. So what's the rule? If it's not fresh or frozen, skip it. The cost of convenience just isn't worth the slow damage. Choose real fruit in its whole, unaltered form, or better yet, make choices that support your energy, digestion, and hormones instead of silently harming them. That leads us to a much more important and empowering question. What should you eat instead? Let's explore the doctor-recommended fruits and options that actually help your body thrive after 60 without the sugar crashes, hormone chaos, or belly bloat. Doctor's tip: what you can eat instead. So, what should you eat instead? If you're over 60 and want fruits that actually support your energy, libido, brain function, and hormone balance, the key is to focus on fruits that are lower in sugar, higher in fiber, and rich in antioxidants or healthy fats. Here are my top recommendations. Blueberries, low glycemic and packed with flavonoids that protect brain function and memory. Avocados, yes, they're a fruit. Full of healthy fats and fiber, they support heart health and testosterone production. Blackberries, loaded with antioxidants and polyphenols that improve circulation and reduce inflammation. Kiwi, gentle on blood sugar, high in vitamin C, and excellent for digestion due to natural enzymes. Green apples, higher in fiber and lower in sugar compared to red apples. Great for gut and blood sugar stability. Lemons and limes, alkalizing to the body, help support liver detox and reduce acid buildup. Pomegranate seeds, rich in polyphenols that support nitric oxide production and blood flow, especially helpful for men's vitality. Add these fruits to your weekly routine, paired with healthy fats or protein, and watch your energy and digestion improve. Let's be clear, fruit is not the enemy. But after 60, your body isn't functioning like it did at 30. Your insulin sensitivity is lower, your digestion is slower, and your liver and pancreas work harder to keep things balanced. That means the same fruits that once gave you energy can now cause inflammation, hormone disruption, or stubborn weight gain if you're not intentional. So the next time you reach for that banana, glass of juice, or bowl of raisins. Pause. Ask yourself, is this supporting my blood flow, energy, and longevity, or quietly sabotaging it? Because your food choices matter, especially the sweet ones. If this helped you, pass it on to someone over 60 who needs real insight, not just feel-good slogans. And remember, healing doesn't begin in the pharmacy, it begins on your plate.